we weren't being paid retirement. Like I've been here for 5 years and I didn't have any retirement.
Whoa.
There's a term that used to be used all the time, the good old boy network. You need to know how to get the new guys on the retirement, how to get your payment applied. He never did it. Mm-hmm. I drove by here daily. Mm-hmm. Terry's vehicle was never here. The board, and we all know this, we were too trusting.
So that entire time, I just want to make sure I understand this correctly, that entire time the engineer that existed before never complied with doing the water system analysis?
You're correct.
I'm looking to see if I can speak with your records officer.
What's this in regards to?
Records.
The former superintendent and the former secretary, when they weren't one and the same, said, don't worry about it, we're too small, we don't need to do that. Well, the secretary was protecting his own job. We could get no support from the engineer. The former secretary actually worked for the engineering firm, so there was a conflict, in my opinion, there.
What kind of discovery came up?
Things he wasn't doing right, misbilling, parcels not being billed. Things just continue to come up. So I kind of feel like we're being attacked right now.
No, I'm just reporting on a story.
Hey everyone, I am free. It is December 23rd, 2025. I'm in the city of Spokane Valley, heading on over to the Hutchinson Irrigation District number 16 to address concerns of district customers that the district has been violating state irrigation district laws by having employees in positions without the right bonds, potentially handling duties they cannot lawfully, and said people not having required oaths of office on record. In Washington state, irrigation districts are public agencies, and by law, they must have one properly appointed oath-taking secretary to keep official records. But at Hutchinson Irrigation District number 16, the paper trail tells a very different story, if much of a paper trail could ever be found. In 2019, the former, but now fired, superintendent of District 16, Terry Squibb, was appointed as the board secretary, seemingly taking office without a bond for the position, nor having taken an oath as required by law. Years later, after the board fired the superintendent and instead of appointing a single secretary, the board approved 3 different employees splitting the secretary's pay and performing secretary duties without any clear appointment in the meeting minutes, without any oaths, and without any bonds for any of the 3. Of note, there can only ever be one secretary. It is not something that is shared between multiple people in accordance with Washington state law. Fast forward to today. The district, by way of Nate Kennicott, the superintendent, identified to me by phone interview on January 6th that Julian Vogelman is the secretary, but on probation. But it appears that there is still no oath on file for either Mr. Kennicott or Ms. Vogelman. The position is described in the district's own bylaws as under review, with duties being handled by staff. If the conditions are not met, this district is wildly out of compliance. Even more concerning, the current superintendent signed documents as secretary in 2025 without ever being appointed to that role in a public meeting and without taking the oath the law requires according to the dearth of evidence that would corroborate such an appointment. This isn't a paperwork mistake. The secretary controls the official record, what the board approved, what the public sees, and what becomes legally binding. And right now, serious questions remain about whether Hutchinson Irrigation District 16 has a lawful secretary as of January 6th, or if they ever had one in their entire history.
Where's the snitch? Hello.
Hello.
I'm looking to see if I can speak with your records officer.
What's this in regards to?
Records. There are allegations regarding corruption here. What's the district's position? And it allows you to combat, these allegations that are going on.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So, commissioners, that's something you want to take me up on? I think, honestly...
Like I said, I can't speak from the board.
You can speak for yourself as a commissioner.
And I'm not prepared to do that right now.
Okay.
I've done so many additions this year, changes that I have to review them.
Yeah, it sounds like from some of the stuff I heard that I'm not going to repeat because I was off the record with the commissioner that it makes sense what you're talking about here. But like I said, it was no small amount of people that reached out from the district. So my curiosity here is that if there is somebody that...
Do you have proof that they live in the district?
Well, I mean,
the
addresses they sent to me, yeah.
Do we have copies of that from you?
No, I don't share source information as a member of the press.
Oh, I mean, like can you give us a number of how many people?
12.
12 people?
I would go back and ask them the question. Have they come to a board meeting to ask questions?
I don't know. I mean, like I said, at this point...
Because we've had 2 public board meetings that no one has come to. We have a 2 disgruntled ex-employees. We have 1 customer who felt that changing the way we did our water rates was wrong. He has been very vocal, yet he never comes and talks to us. He just talks to all the neighbors. When we did his water bill this year, his water bill went up $5. But he's upset. Nobody's come to us with anything. Nobody's asked us any questions. So I kind of feel like we're being attacked right now.
No, I'm just reporting on a story.
You're fine.
There's my statement.
And you said it was 2 disgruntled employees? And I'm assuming they don't currently work for the district anymore. Gotcha.
The district's made a lot of changes this year, and we're trying to move forward. We now have a website, which we didn't have before.
Are you a commissioner as well?
I'm not a commissioner. I'm the superintendent. I just took position in end of March. By March. Since then, we've updated our bylaws. We've put employee handbooks on. This is my first state audit. I mean, we've made a lot of changes.
I did look at the state audit. That was part of what also took me here, because when I did get those people reaching out, one of the first things I do is actually I go to look if there has been a state audit, just to see if something popped up. And, I did see what the results were.
That was from 3 years ago.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into where the Washington State Auditor, Pat McCarthy, got it wrong. The auditor stated the following on page 4 of the report. In those selected areas, district operations complied in all material respects with applicable state laws, regulations, and its own policies, and provided adequate controls over the safeguarding of public resources. Nope, that is just not true, Pat. That's not true at all. Then again, why should we be surprised with this auditor? Look at the Department of Children, Youth, and Families during all this alleged fraud regarding family child care facilities. Anyways, Pat, how exactly did your office sign off that all was good at District 16 when they didn't have all lawful instruments required or lawfully appointed people in required positions, i.e. a secretary correctly appointed to the position, a bond for that secretary, an oath of office for that, or any other secretary in so much as the district can provide? Does it strike anyone else as odd that the auditor somehow overlooked that 3 people were in effect acting as secretary, had no bonds for them, yet shared partial pay for it? Why didn't the fact that the meeting minutes from 2019 didn't show that an appointment for a secretary come about in the audit? How come no oaths of office are available for any secretaries, at least as of the date of this video, after I requested them, as required by law? That doesn't seem like compliance, Pat. That seems like being out of compliance, Pat. Make that make sense, Pat. We wonder why so many agencies are broken in Washington State? Well, I'd say look at the specific agencies first, and then Pat's Office of the Auditor. Who audits the auditor? Apparently citizen journalists.
So, with you being the superintendent now, Nate, from your experience, I assume you worked here prior to...
Yeah.
Okay. So, with your experience, what kinds of conflicts of interest could come about based on your knowledge of how an irrigation district works, and this one specifically, for someone who's superintendent and secretary of the board?
Well, so you wouldn't have like a checks and balances typically, because so now you're doing the minutes and you're doing the and reporting to the board. So you're basically essentially the record keeper and the preparer. Which is why when I took superintendent, I explained that to both boards, and recommended, and it was in the state audit. And the state auditor was very glad when we went back to a secretary position.
What other concerns existed with Mr. Squibb? I mean, obviously a 32-year tenure is a significant amount of time. What specifically led you to your position now?
I was the assistant superintendent prior to that. I have the licensing for it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me clarify. What I mean is, what led to you now becoming the superintendent instead of Mr. Squibb continuing as superintendent?
I'll let the commissioner answer that if he chooses to.
Okay.
He's no longer in position.
Gotcha. And you can't say why?
I'm not sure what.
I mean, it's public record, so.
So he was terminated from position.
Oh, he's terminated. Okay. All right. What led to the termination? Was it just only the issue of his maintaining a position both as superintendent and secretary? That seems like that would be not necessarily a fireable offense unless it was for a person with a 32-year tenure. That's a long time.
So this one will not be.
No, and this is only Cardinal.
Okay, so we're gonna call it Cardinal Bees.
Okay, perfect.
Dave,
Yeah.
he wants to know why Terry's no longer with the districts.
He wasn't doing his job. He wasn't doing his job. He wasn't doing his job.
Wasn't doing his job. I mean, for the constituents that reached out and have these concerns, what could you say wasn't being done that you have confidence in Nate doing now as superintendent that wasn't being done before that led to his termination?
Well, one item slips into HIPAA, so that can't be discussed.
Totally understand. Yeah, HIPAA is obviously a thing that you got to abide by.
So
So if we're gonna back at both locations, should I make a back location to the Cardinal?
So certainly not going to try to pry into HIPAA. What were the other things?
well, the HIPAA portion was causing
Cardinal 1, Cardinal 2.
issues with him performing his job.
Okay.
And then Cardinal O, the office.
I drive by here when I was still working. I'm retired now. I drove by here daily. Terry's vehicle was never here.
Oh.
Never.
Okay.
Now, he could argue he was at the other district because we're a shared district.
The number 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
I used to have to go downtown for my job a lot. I always took 2nd Avenue. That's me. I hate the freeway. Drive by over there. I never saw a vehicle there, ever. Now, you could argue he was here. Okay, fine. But if I go by there 2-3 times a week, and I come by here every day, and I never see his vehicle, where's he working? Should have seen it at least once or twice. Something,
Sure.
but not every time.
Out of curiosity, in that vein, because I can kind of foresee some of the questions that some of your constituents might ask, and I appreciate you discussing this because obviously they do have concerns. I didn't come over from Seattle just to hang out in your lovely office here, but with that, were there any mechanisms or controls in place that basically allowed you as a commissioner to say, Terry?
He always had an answer.
Gotcha. Okay.
Always had an
But
answer.
nothing to guarantee that, like you come in and all of a sudden the bell goes off and you know that he showed up to work or he clocks in or something like that. Nothing like that.
We were, the board, and we all know this, we were too trusting.
I see.
And that was one of the things that came out of it.
Out of the audit was the controls.
Out of the him being gone for HIPAA reasons, and there was a tremendous amount of discovery during those 2 months. I don't even know if I could even come up with
what kind of discovery came up.
things he wasn't doing right, misbilling, parcels not being billed. It just things just continue to come up. He was not doing his job.
Is that a salaried position?
Yes.
It was a salary position.
And it's hourly
We've
now?
since moved to hourly.
Okay.
We also put things into place. There's an open door policy now where they can reach out to the board members. Their numbers are available to the associates. If I'm not doing my job,
They can call right to the director.
I mean, here's a perfect example. Memorial Day, Labor Day, I don't remember what holiday it was. He drives by one. I'm out in my front yard, he stops. We start talking, why are you working today? Terry said we had to.
So no consistency sounds like in schedules either.
well, so we didn't have set holiday schedule. He would change his mind on when we were allowed to have days off and things like that. We weren't being paid retirement. Like I've been here for 5 years and I didn't have any retirement.
Whoa, so your retirement wasn't being accrued?
Wasn't being paid. The board had been asking him for an upwards of 2 years to please pay the retirement. Was one of the things. And it's in the
Continually
meeting.
had an excuse. Continually had an excuse why it
Well,
wasn't
let me
being
ask
done.
you this then. So in that vein, you know, I'm sure as you can appreciate auditors' reports, the initial ones are usually quite limited. It's like 5 to 7 pages almost consistently, unless it's like the city of Seattle or something like that. In that vein, what did the financial records show?
That's being audited right now.
That is what's
That's
being
3
audited.
years.
Okay.
But he always, so when you're the one that controls the finances and the minutes and everything, that's why we went to a secretary and segregated the positions, not one person.
Ah, okay. That makes more sense now that it's being
this
described
was,
like that.
so I'm an ex-admin for a large, my background was business before I went back to school for water.
Okay.
So, I mean, we know there's deficiencies and we've done a lot in, 7 months? But this audit's going to tell me a lot. I'm going to have my opportunities. They're going
Sure.
to be repaired. So immediately upon taking position, every employee got their retirement. Even some of the board members offered to come in and do the retirement and get it going for the board. It didn't get done. So, or for the employees, the board doesn't get retirement, of course.
The whole thing with the retirement, as it was explained to us by him, was the former secretary's brother-in-law was the one, or brother, I don't remember, some relative, was the one that administered the program, because as you know, retirement programs have an administrator.
Yeah, PERS.
And we weren't on PERS.
Oh.
This
We
was
went on to PERS this year.
Okay, so completely separate.
I went on to a
Completely
state
separate.
program.
Okay, okay.
And he couldn't get anywhere with how to pay the retirement. And we sat here in one meeting, we distinctly told him, you get in the truck, you go down to that office, because I asked the question, where is this person located? Oh, he's in an office building downtown. Then you go down there, you walk in the office at 8 o'clock in the morning, and you sit there until you can talk to somebody. You need to know how to get the new guys on the retirement, how to get your payment applied. He never did it.
Were there other things that you know as an experienced commissioner, and you know, forgive my ignorance here because I don't do water like you guys do or irrigation, whatnot. Were there other things that you saw as a commissioner that made you feel like, I know he's not doing X, Y, and Z, because if he's not doing
So,
this, like specific things, I mean.
well, the memory is too far gone to remember any
Okay.
specifics, but you could pick a subject. Why do we do this? Because that's the way we do it, was always the response. Why can't we do this and will we save money? No, that won't work.
It's an appeal to tradition.
It was, there you
What's the
go.
interest rate you get on your monies at the Spokane County? Nobody knows. Well, actually, it comes out on a report every month that's available at any given moment.
Wow. Okay.
Here it is for you guys. It's now printed and filed for them every month.
Our water is billed through your taxes. We do not bill. It goes to the county through the taxes. We know there are people not paying their taxes. Terry, will we get that money when they finally pay their taxes? Oh yeah. oh yeah, it'll come. Nate found out last week that it may not come. We were hemorrhaging money. This goes back to the engineer, it goes back to the former secretary, it goes back to Terry. We're hemorrhaging money. Our reserve fund was paying the bills and it was dropping. We had to do something.
So with the former engineer and the former secretary, correct me if I'm wrong on that, because I do know that obviously Mr. Squibb was one and the same at a certain point in time. But prior to him becoming the secretary, at the same time he was superintendent, what was going on with the hemorrhaging of money? Because obviously you just explained, you know.
Nobody, the board, we could get no support from the engineer. The former secretary actually worked for the engineering firm, so there was a conflict, in my opinion, there. We finally got rid of our old engineer, which should have happened.
We RFQ'd for a new engineer. We had 2 candidates that were interviewed by the board.
Why was the engineer gotten rid of?
The state law requires that every 3 years we do an RFQ for a new engineer.
That was part of the audit.
Oh.
And the former superintendent and the former secretary, when they weren't one and the same, said, don't worry about it, we're too small, we don't need to do that. Well, the secretary was protecting his own job.
I see, that makes sense now, okay.
So Terry was protecting the former engineer because he liked the guy.
I see,
So we finally were like, we have got to find a new engineer.
Well, you guys forced RFQ before Terry left.
And we forced it, he was not happy. But we
And
forced it.
the big thing there was that our water system plan, so every 10 years you have to have a new water system plan to run a district here in Washington State. These guys' water system plan was due in 2008. It has not yet been completed.
Wow.
So technically we should have had one and been working on another one by now. So we had to go out and get a new engineer to get our water system plan completed.
So that entire time, I just want to make sure I understand this correctly, that entire time the engineer that existed before never complied with doing the water system analysis?
You're correct.
Wow.
He was always defended by Terry.
I know constituents are going to ask, so I'd like to provide you the opportunity for sure. How did that happen with elected officials?
We were too trusting of Terry.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Terry always would tell us, he's working on it. I have a draft.
He had a draft. He turned in another district's draft to us.
Yeah.
And he turned in another draft. Then it got rejected multiple times by the state.
You said you were the former assistant superintendent, right?
Yeah.
So in your position as former assistant superintendent, now superintendent, did you ever see anything that led you to believe that something was amiss with Terry Squibb and the engineer, or was it all being hidden?
No, I mean, I would say things, but
There's a term that used to be used all the time, the good old boy network.
Well, I really appreciate your guys' time. Thank you very much. Pleasure to meet you, Nate. Pleasure to meet you, Commissioner. I guess one last question. Do you have a timeline that you think might be something that people can say, okay, Nate said 3 months or 6 months or whatever for the procedures manual and the index?
pretty quick turnaround for me, I would say in a month.
Okay, a month.
First quarter.
All right.
Give them a little time.
Okay, that sounds good. When I post the news story, I will email you guys. Do you have a business card that you can give me? And I'll email you and let you see where the story will be at.
When I walk out and you turn that off again, we'll have one more conversation.
Okay.
I gotta go, Nate.
Okay, I'm gonna pause this to have an off the record conversation. I just want to remind you all, this is why I do what I do. This is the leads that I had were absolutely confirmed by the current superintendent and the commissioner here at Irrigation District 16. I understand Irrigation District's probably not high up on the sexy list for politics and all that kind of stuff. But that being said, these are government agencies. They're important, and this kind of stuff where allegedly Mr. Terry Squibb, a 32-year employee, was just not getting the job done, but taxes are being levied. This is a district that has the ability to levy taxes. It matters how it's being run, because that means people's money is potentially being used for the wrong thing or not at all being used appropriately in any way, shape, or form. And that's what we're covering here. So with that being said, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you like my journalism. You can find me on X at I.A.M Free Auditing, on Facebook at Inland Auditing Media, and if you want to help keep my feet on the streets, you guys know what to do. You can go to the links in the description for Cash App and Venmo. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys at the next location. Bye for now.
Welcome back to the very end of the video where the nights get longer, the air gets sharper, and the truth stands out clearer against the silence. If you're hearing this, you're one of the very few who stick around to not just witness, but understand. In this quiet part of the video, we reflect, share what fuels us, and say a few things to help the algorithm help us reach someone new. December is when the world winds down, not this channel. So let's close the book on the year with keywords, philosophy, and the reasons we don't go silent, no matter how cold it gets. The December 2025 SEO keyword cluster. Reasonable articulatable suspicion. No RAS, no ID. Detained without suspicion. Unlawful detainment audit. Fourth Amendment audit. Terry stop exposed. ID refusal education, filming cops legally, First Amendment audit, sidewalk rights confrontation, FOIA request denied, corrupt public officials exposed, government employee misconduct, City Hall audit confrontation, mayor caught lying, retaliatory arrest for filming, police officer walks off job, refusal to provide badge number. Citizen journalist exposes cover-up, violation of open records law. You won't believe what this cop said. Tyrant cop gets owned, arrested for filming again. Cop tries to delete footage. Body cam reveals truth. Public official loses it on camera. Shut down by the Constitution. First Amendment violation caught on video. Audit goes viral. Caught on camera lying to the public. City Hall confrontation. Courthouse audit. Police station audit. School board exposure. DMV meltdown. Sheriff's office corruption. Public library filming rights. Fire department audit. Federal building standoff. Post office audit fails. Do you have to show ID? How to film police legally? What is reasonable suspicion? Public photography rights. How to file a complaint on law enforcement. When are detentions illegal? Passive resistance explained. Legal to film on government property. Civil rights training for cops. Know your rights when stopped. And now on to the December philosophical readings and reflections from David Thoreau. Civil disobedience. Disobedience is the true foundation of liberty. The obedient must be slaves. My reflection is that when you record from a sidewalk, ask tough questions and don't move just because they said to. That's not obstruction. It's resistance. And resistance is how liberty breathes. And from famous poet and Russian writer Alexander Solzhenitsyn, let the lie come into the world. Let it even triumph, but not through me. My reflection as it relates to my journalism is that's why I film. That's why I post. That's why I confront them when they say you cannot record. I will not be a part of that lie. From Cicero, from his text On Duties. Salus populi suprema lex esto. Translated, the good of the people is the greatest law. My reflection is that public servants often forget you serve the people, not the other way around. If the camera makes you uncomfortable, you're in the wrong job. And finally this month, from one of my favorites, James Madison in Federalist 51. If men were angels, no government would be necessary. My reflection on that is don't assume they'll do the right thing. Record it, test it, question it, build the controls. Now I've got some questions for all of you for December. A little pre-Christmas and holiday homework, if you will. Which government agency is the least transparent in your town? Has a cop ever demanded ID from you with no reason? And what did you do? Should government buildings be required to remain open for public audits during the holidays? What was the most shocking audit you saw this year? Do you trust your local government more or less 2025 and why? And finally, I just want to say to you all this December of 2025, I greatly appreciate you. I could not be doing this without your interest in my journalism and my push for transparency wherever I go in seeking my stories. I want to thank you all for that support. I want to wish you all and do wish you all the best in your 2025 holidays and the best going into a 2026 as we pursue greater transparency and expose corruption from tyranny and tyrants alike from here and into 26. Thank you very much. Happy holidays.